do apologize. So anyways, Bashar Ketu here, guys. Those of you that don't know me, my name is Bashar Ketu. I've been selling on Amazon for the last about 5 years. Been coaching for about 2 years now, and really we've been focused on driving our students and really getting them the highest results in the past couple of years now that we've been coaching. And I remember when I first started, when I kind of realized that, I had something special here, that I could actually scale this business, that I could take this business to the next level. I forgot to do something. Where's my hat? Oh. Forgot to wear my BJK University hat. There we go. All right. So cool. Well, so if you guys have any questions, once again, drop them below. So what I was saying earlier is that when I tried to, when we finally had started, like when I finally started when I figured out a way on how to really do this, right? And it was just kind of like a streamlined process of like figuring out how to sell on Amazon, right? And I had just kind of like, I had launched a couple of products, they failed, and then I kept on tweaking and then going back and forth. And then when I found out how to do it, I got to I hit a brick wall, because I could only scale so far, right? Number one was obviously finances, but then the second thing was being able to find products that are profitable fast enough to be able to scale them, right? So I knew that there must have been a way for me to simply be able to find products, launch them, scale them faster, right? And that's when I kind of started researching, and that's when I came across Fiverr.com. Now, those of you that don't know what Fiverr.com is, it's a website where you could post your gig as a freelancer, and then people hire your services. Usually it's people from Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, usually third world countries. Very smart and very intelligent people. Now, for like in North America, let's say, for me to pay $100, and really anywhere, for me to pay $100, $150, even $200 to someone that's going to sit in front of the computer, do product research, utilizing the methods and the techniques and the strategy and the criteria that I provide them. And I know that that product could make me anywhere in the upwards of $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 even per month. To me, that seemed like a no-brainer, right? So what I simply did was I would go through, and I would, if you go to Fiverr.com, and then if you just type, and I wish I could, in my mind, it was like, I'm going to drive you guys to my YouTube channel, and I'm going to share my screen with you guys, but I guess that isn't happening. So anyways, you go to Fiverr.com, and then what you do is you simply, you can type something like Amazon FBA product research or something, right? And that's where, people where you can hire people that will follow your criteria. I wouldn't just tell them, hey, go out there and find me a product. I would make sure that you actually give them a product, or give them a criteria, and then, I would just kind of say, I want you to follow this criteria, right? This is the criteria I want you to follow. This is very important, because otherwise they're just kind of going to go out there and really find you any product. Does that make sense? So that's kind of what I would do, and that's what I started doing, and that's how I was able to grow my business. And until today, now we have our own in-house team now that does product research. Like we have about 2 guys that are on product research, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. So 80 hours per week are spent on product research. And that's to help us, keep scaling, right? So we find 2-3 products per week minimum. And then we're launching that many per month, right? 2, 3, 4 products per month. If you guys are on my Instagram, you'll see that I just in the last 24 hours, I posted a couple, screenshots of a couple products that we just launched recently that are doing very well. One of them is profiting about $200 a day, $250 a day. That's about $6,000 a month. And then the other one is that product is just massive. Yesterday it profited $460, I think. It sold like 31 units just yesterday, and I think we're out of stock today. So we're just going to have to wait until new stock comes in. But we have new products being launched all the time. Someone asked, how much money do you need to start working with Amazon? So you can really do many things with Amazon. You can, and that's how I started. I started flipping products on Amazon, right? So what I would do is I would go to stores. Now, once again, you do need to be in North America to do this, or you can do it online. You can do the same exact thing, but online. So I went to, I would go to stores like TJ Maxx, Home Goods, and then I would buy stuff. I would scan it, make sure that it sells on Amazon, and then I would see how much the difference is, and I would buy it from these stores, ship them to FBA, and then fulfill the orders like that. So that's called arbitrage. To do that, you really don't need much because you just need to have enough money to buy those products. But it's not a scalable concept because you're constantly out there looking for products, driving around, and I wasn't interested in that. You could do the same exact thing online. You could use a tool called, I use a tool called Tactical Arbitrage. That was like 3 years ago, 4 years ago maybe. I don't know if they're still around. I don't know if it's still viable, but it's exactly the same. You put your parameters, and then it goes out there and finds you products that you can find for X, sell for Y on Amazon. Usually it's products you buy from like Walmart, Target, stuff like that. And then you can sell them for more expensive on Amazon. However, if you want to do what I do, which is private label, completely different, that's when you actually buy your own product. So let's say this watch. This watch is Michael Kors. Now, if you think about it, here, just so that you guys can see, it's not very expensive. It's like $270. If you think about it, does Michael Kors really produce and manufacture this watch, right? Do they? You just never know. Maybe what Michael Kors did and what I would do if I was a watch manufacturer is that I would find me a watch manufacturer that would manufacture this specific watch just for me, specific to me, and I would simply slap my name on it, right? Because, you know, like one of our products that, well, I'm not going to reveal products, but let's say if I'm selling a mug, right? I'm not in the mug manufacturing business. I'm in the mug selling business, right? So what I would do is I would find a manufacturer that sells mugs. I'm not going to go open a factory just to produce mugs. I'll find someone that's what they do, right? And simply slap my logo on it. You know what I mean? And say, okay, this is now BJK, right? This is BJK. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to sell it on Amazon, right? And that's exactly what we do. That's called private label. So you find a supplier that can white label you their product. You slap your logo on it. Now it's private labeled. And then now you can sell it on Amazon. That's what I do. To do that, to answer your question, sorry for the long-winded question, I suggest you have minimum $3,000 to do this, okay? Obviously, the more the better because you can launch more products. You can buy more of the same product. The more you buy, the cheaper you'll get it from the supplier. Let's say if you buy 200 units, they'll probably sell it to you for $3. If you buy 500 units, they'll probably sell it to you for $2.80. If you buy 1,000 units, they'll probably sell it to you for $2, you know? So now you're going to, your cost is going lower, but then your margins are obviously going higher. By the way, is anyone in the YouTube chat? I see there's 5 people watching me, but I don't see anyone posting questions. Are you guys here? Are you guys alive? Can someone post in the chat from YouTube saying hello? I just want to make sure that my chat works because I don't want to be missing questions that you guys are posting and me just not seeing them. So. Oh, hi, Bish. Oh, there we go. All right, you guys are alive. Great. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Hey, if you guys have questions, post them. Don't be shy, okay? All right, cool. Awesome. Awesome. Just wanted to make sure. First live ever on YouTube, so I'm kind of excited about it. So, do you recommend taking a loan to start FBA? Absolutely. It's like the 5th or 6th video in my program, actually, in our paid program, where I talk about debt. Right, and where I talk about, thank you very much. Oh, absolutely, you got it. Where I talk about how when I lost my restaurant in 2015, I was $150,000 in debt, okay? And I simply went in further in debt to get money to launch on Amazon, right? Debt is great as long as you are using it correctly, okay? Now, debt is not great if you're gonna, I don't think, excuse me, I'm a big believer that buying a house is a liability and it's not an asset. So to me, I would never go get debt to buy a house because that's not producing me money every single month. I'm paying for it. I'm paying the mortgage. I'm paying to mow the lawn. I'm paying for the fixings. I'm paying for all that. But for me to launch a business on Amazon or off Amazon or anywhere, that's a business that's going to be producing me money. I would say absolutely go for debt. Okay. And of course, you want to look at your percentage rate of the debt and everything else. Let me see. I saw a question. Chintu Patel, I think it is. Hello. Good to have you. XRYXN /1557. Hello. I'm an Amazon Indian seller now. I want to grow in different marketplaces. So I want your personal mentorship. What is your fees? So if you guys want to know more about my fees and our program and everything like that, on Facebook and Instagram, there is a link. On Facebook, it's probably somewhere on my page at the top. Instagram, it's in my bio. It's a 25, 30-minute workshop where we I walk you through how I do everything. And then at the end, you can book a call with one of our advisors that will answer your questions and then see if working together is a good fit and kind of explain to you how that works. Okay? So, okay. YouTube, please, I'm scared to launch my product next week. It's a very competitive category. How do you launch your product? So when it comes to launching, let me take a sip of my tea first. I want to stress this enough. And see, like, I kind of veered off of this for a while, but it became very evident to me. So in the last, I want to say 2 months, November, December, we've probably launched about half a dozen products, maybe like 6 or 7. One of them completely flopped. I mean, like, we're trying our best to make it work. 2 of them, well, actually, I think 6. Yeah, because we've got like 3 more coming in and stuff like that. So I think 6. 2 of them are doing okay, right? They're doing okay. They're doing okay. Like, 4, 5, 6 units a day, whatever, right? But we're like trying to make them work. And then 2, we literally did nothing. And then they're just completely blowing up. And those are the 2 that I posted about yesterday on my Instagram. One of them is making like $200-300 a day in net profits. The other one is selling like, like it would sell, like I started selling like 5 units, 6 units, 8, 10, 15, 20, 30. And like yesterday we sold 31 units and we ran out, So we're waiting for new shipments. If it's a good product, and if you did great at OV Roy, hello, good to have you. And Zainul Abid, good to have you. So if you did a good thing at differentiating a product, if it's a good niche, if everything is good, if your pictures are good, like this one that's completely crushing it, like I look at the product, I'm like, man, the pictures look so good, right? So the XRYXN, you're asking about my current monthly revenue. Sure, man. If you go to my story, you'll find some of the products that I'm telling you about, and then if you go also on my highlights, you could see all the different things we share in there, screenshots of students and our accounts and stuff like that. So, when it comes to like launching products, if you did a good job, if the niche is not competitive, if the product is good, if you've done a good job at finding a good product and launching it and everything like that, I would say that literally, like, you don't need much to launch a product. Now, we use this thing called hyperlaunch, and it is where it's a 2-step that we do it. Technically, just to kind of break it down to you guys is without giving away the secret sauce, right? When you first launch a product on Amazon, obviously Amazon is going to throw you all the way in the back of the searches, right? So they're going to get thrown all the way in the back of the searches because that's how it works, right? Now, in the first 7 to 14 days, there's this thing called the honeymoon period. The honeymoon period, what it is, Amazon is going to rank you to the top of the pages a lot faster and a lot sooner than they would regularly, right? So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you get up there as fast as possible. So you want to have your PPC set up. you want to have your launch set up. What a launch is technically creating a like inflating sales, right? Creating sales that are what's the word? There's a word here that I use. Artificial sales, right? Artificial sales. Making it look to Amazon for you to go from like page 15 to page 5 and 4 and 3 to 1 is sales, right? So if you go to Helium 10, and if you don't have Helium 10, one of my videos somewhere, I probably have a link where you can get 50% off. They have a tool called Cerebro. And then if you put your keyword in there, there's a CPR 8-day giveaway number, right? So let's say it'll tell you that for you to launch this product, that number is, let's say, 100. That means you need to give away, well, let's say 80 because that's an easier divided number. So it'll say that 80 units need to be given away over an 8-day period or sales, right? Usually we're able to rank products to the top of the page using about 60 to 70% of what CPR tells us. So if CPR says, it's 80, right? We usually, it's 80. We're usually able, or like it's 100. We usually are able to do it with like 60 or 70 units instead of 100 units, right? So simply what you do is you give them away. Now what you do is we use this method, and we teach this in our program. Obviously, it's called hyperlaunch, and it's got 2 steps. The first step is to simply drive as much traffic to your listing without giving away any products. And what that's going to do is going to move you from like page never to like page 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, right? And then from there, so that way we can maximize on the amount of units that we give away, right? So then what we're going to do is we're going to have Amazon, we'll do the giveaway, and then we'll try to rank to the top. If you do it within the honeymoon period, you will be able to get to the top within, nothing. Like the 2 products that I'm telling that are completely crushing it, we did not do any giveaway, literally 0. But we had a solid PPC strategy and a solid PPC. I probably had like 5 or 6 PPC campaigns running. And we just did the hyperlaunch 1, not the hyperlaunch 2, just the hyperlaunch 1, where we gave away like 5 or 6 units at a discount, not completely free. And the products are like scaling like massively. One of the products, the one that's profiting about $200 and something a day, it's not even ranking on page 1 for the top keyword. If it does, this product will be selling 40, 50 units a day, easy. I'm not doing that because I'm running low on units, so I'm kind of waiting for new units to get it. But that's our strategy when it comes to launching products. What was the question here? Actually ordered a test unit of 20 units of a product I thought was very good and sold out within 4 days. With absolutely 0 reviews, my profit margins 48 and A cost was 57. That's great. You probably want to bring down the A cost, but that's great, man. Would you recommend ordering more based on this data? I would say yes. You never want to launch a product with 20 units. At least launch it with 200 units, right? Just because 20, yeah, you were able to sell, that many within 4 days, but it's just not enough data, right? 200 units, it's good enough data to say, okay, well, I was able to sell at this much, this is my profit margins and everything else, and then now I'm good. But according to what you told me, then yes, I would say definitely reorder. YouTube, there's still 5 people watching, man. I only see 2 people engaged. Anyone else has any questions? If you guys do, post it in the comments. Instagram, no one has any questions. I'm sorry, this is Facebook. This is Instagram. My bad. I'm getting confused here. Facebook, do you guys have any questions? If you do, please post in the comments. Instagram, if you have any questions, please post in the comments. I was just so scared to invest a lot and lose it, as was first attempt at FBA. Yeah, so you don't want to lose money, obviously, but look, man, if you never try, you'll never know, right? And then usually, to get that doubt off of your mind, you want to, you're only doubtful. I know there's a quote by Warren Buffett. He says, it's only a risk if you don't know what you're doing. When people say, oh, take risk. But it's like, it's only a risk when you don't know what you're doing, right? Well, you're like, all right, but I've never done something. So it is a risk, right? Because I'm doing it for the first time. Sure. But if you have someone on your side that knows what they're doing and that you're utilizing their methods that got them to where they are, then it's not really a risk. It's just your first time. You're just inexperienced, but you're piggybacking on their success, on their experience, on their expertise, right? And that's what I always suggest. And that's why I've invested this year so far. I've invested 30,000. I've taken 2 courses, 1, 2. So last year I invested about 6 and 2, 8. So last year I invested about between 10 to 12,000. This year I've invested 30 plus 6 plus 5, 11. So 41,000 this year so far. And then next year I'll probably invest about 6 figures in myself. And that's just simply, investing in myself and investing in new information, because if you're like, well, but Bashar, if I'm doing it for the first time, then it is a risk. No, it's not, because you're going to be piggybacking on someone else's success. And that's exactly what I did. I wanted to do something like our coaching program. I knew it was great. I knew that we had great content. The few people that we had helped, we had really gotten results for. And I was like, all right, well, how do I get it out there, right? How do I let more people know about it? I found the best person who is in that niche of helping course creators like myself to get their products out there. And I tapped into their system. And last weekend we spent 3 days, 8 to 10 hours a day together in a mastermind, just drilling down. And that has helped me reach more people, create more awareness about the missed opportunities, and let more people know. And he's also helped me create a better course, because my program, although I know what I'm doing, but it was just all over the place. So he's helped me deliver the best results using the least amount of content possible and the least amount of time, right? So that's what investing in yourself does. And obviously I've made money doing that, right? I'm not doing it for free. So anyways, for those of you that are interested in selling on Amazon, it's definitely a great thing to start. I think it's definitely the best place to start a business. I remember when I started the business, we migrated into America 2006. 2011, me and my brother, as a family, we bought our first business in America, which was a local pizzeria. And we bought that place for $100,000. Me and my brother used to work open close 7 days a week. We would open at 9 a.m. No, we would open at 10 a.m., close at 9 a.m. So I'm sorry, we'd open at 10 a.m., close at 9 p.m. So that's 11 hours a day, 7 days a week. What is that? 77 hours a week, right? So we're working 77 hours a week, me, 77 hours a week, him. My parents were helping, and we had 2 employees. And we invested $100,000 to buy that place, okay? Now, we were making about $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, I think, on the best month in net profits. Where here, you can start a business and understand, we couldn't scale past 5 miles, 10 miles. It was a pizzeria, so we would do delivery. We would deliver to like 5 miles around us. We couldn't scale past that 5-mile radius. Maybe some people that they lived in that area and then they moved out of that area, they would, every time they'd come back because they loved their pizza, they would come and buy it from us. But outside of that, we were only limited by the surroundings of our business, right? And we could only scale so much. I think our sales were like $35,000 at its best month. And I think we could have probably taken it to like 40, 50, 60. But that business couldn't make $200,000 a month. It just wasn't possible, And for us to do that, we're talking about crazy scale, right? And it's just not possible, right? Where here, you have a business that you can run from your computer. All I need is, my business is this, and you guys can't see it. It's a laptop. It's a MacBook Air. I bought it for $1,000. I pay, I think, $60 a month for our internet, and that's all you need. Now, I have a team of 5 people, but you're starting out. We have over 25 products, but you don't. You're starting with 1, 2, 3 products. You don't need that. Maybe you'll hire a VA and pay them whatever, $500 a month, but that's about it, right? If you have multiple products, or maybe you have another business or have a full-time job or something. Otherwise, if you're just like me when I first started, hell, I had all the time in the world. You know what I mean? So your expenses are very small. And besides, this is not. Let me show you how I started. I started with this, and I keep this to remind myself. Do you see how thick this thing is? I mean, look at this. Toshiba laptop, and I keep it just to kind of remind myself, look at the dust. I mean, and it doesn't work. Just look at this. This is how I started, right? I used to drive for Uber, and I was, that's after my restaurant burned down, I used to drive for Uber, and I would work as a dishwasher at Hilton hotels. So when I'm not doing Hilton, I was working on 2-3 days a week. I would do Uber. And then between calls, I had that laptop in the middle between the seats. And then I would pull it out, open it, connect it to my phone, and then do like product research or talk to suppliers or whatever, right? And that's how I started, 2015. So you could do all that. You could do all that, and more. So for you to be able to start a business that you can operate from anywhere in the world, regardless where you are, if you're in India, in Pakistan, in America, in Canada, in Iraq, it doesn't matter. And you'll need only a few $1,000s to really start it and build it to multiple 5 and 6 figures a month. I mean, it's just incredible. Who is better to launch with PPC or giveaways? I think both. You definitely want to do both. I definitely say that you definitely need to do both. You need to have a solid strategy for PPC, and you definitely want to do giveaways. The cheapest giveaway strategy that I've seen and that I've used, there used to be cheaper ones, but they just kind of don't work anymore. But in today's world, the cheapest strategy is the hyperlaunch strategy that we do. Just because there are great companies out there. There's a company called RankBell, someone who's a colleague of mine. She lives, CEO lives here in San Diego. But they will give away the full amount. They will give away the full amount. With what we do, we get away with only giving away about 60% because we have the first step before that comes in and push them from like page 35 to page like 3, 4, 5, right? And from there we use the giveaway to get them up. And as long as you do it within the honeymoon period, you'll be able to do it with very minimal effort. I don't want to make this sound like it's easy because it's not. Okay, it's not easy, but it's simple. Okay, whatever that makes, whatever that means. Okay, and try to understand what I'm trying to say here. It's not easy, but it's simple. It's if you know what you're doing, it's like you're following steps. Find a product that matches this criteria. You find a supplier. It needs to be. We make sure that our manufacturing costs don't go more than 25% of our selling price. And then from there, what you're going to do is you're going to make sure that your suppliers will. Manufacture everything, ship it to Amazon, and then you've got Amazon that does fulfillment, and then you launch. PPC is set up this way. That's what we teach our students. Launch is this way, and then you make sure that there's, we teach them how to do inventory planning to make sure that you don't run out. I have an inventory planner that I share with my students where, like, look, this is how you do that, right? So, anyways, been together for some time now, although the first 10-15 minutes was just me trying to figure out how to share my screen on Amazon. So I guess how we started this whole thing was me trying to say that Fiverr.com is a great place for you to find good products cheap. And it's a good place for you to scale. Utilize it, okay? Something that you guys have to understand is that you don't want to reach out to these guys and say, here we go, just find me a product. You want to have a product research criteria that you follow and that they follow. Otherwise, they're just going to go out there and find you whatever the hell product they think is good, and that's not good, okay? We have our own product research criteria. I call it the 15 commandments, and that's what I've been using for the last 5 years and been tweaking, and I teach all my students. If you want to be part of that, YouTube, there's a link in the description. Click on that, Instagram, there's a link in my bio. Facebook, there's a link in the pinned post on my page. And it's also somewhere in my bio or whatever. But it'll take you, they all will take you to the same page, which is a 25 to 30-minute workshop that'll kind of break down to you how I do what I do. Okay? That's first thing, is I'm going to explain to you how the whole thing works. And then at the end of the workshop, I say, if this sounds good and want to learn more about how to work together, please book a call. You won't be on a call with me. You'll be on a call with our enrollment advisors. They'll ask you some questions, learn a little bit more about you. You get to ask them questions so to make sure that you are clear and understanding of everything. And at the end, if they think that you're a good fit to work with us and that we can really help you, they will make you an offer. If it sounds good, you enroll. If not, totally cool too. But you can start there, okay? At least attend the workshop. It's 25, 30 minutes. It'll probably be the best 25, 30 minutes you invest in your business in 2021 if you're wanting to really take Amazon FBA seriously. But outside of that, people, I do appreciate you all for being here. If you guys have any more questions, post them below this. YouTube, if you guys are watching this in replay, post them there and I'll make sure to come back and answer. And yeah, I'll be here. Don't private message me on Instagram, on Facebook. I don't really answer those. Just, I explain how that all works. If you have questions, just post them there or just watch the video. But outside of that, I'll try to do these streams at least on Sundays or I don't know, whenever. I can't promise, but I'll try. So have yourselves a great weekend and we'll chat soon. How do you end Instagram?